Welcome back to Afterlife, episode 59. I miss the sunrise. That's the one thing about having moved to this new house is we are not getting proper sunrises anymore, but that's a nice one this morning. And the weather's actually nice for a change as well. I cut back on the potatoes a little bit, knowing that I needed some more blueberries, but with those also come that lovely surprise. But as I discover that you still get the blueberries and the seeds, even though you also get the lovely surprise, all the more justifiable to go for it. So 12 blueberries, 26 potatoes. And the sun is definitely up now, so we are ready to get on with our day here in just a moment. We're going to do a loot bag check. Looks like we've got a biker inside the compound that we're going to need to deal with. I had the most zombies that I've had inside in a very long time. Very long time. There was a lot of them. Spent half the night killing zombies. Yeah, one after another. It was this. Somebody inside. I'd go back up, and then there'd be somebody else inside. But I have 46 spikes today, so this should definitely go a lot further on getting us back towards full coverage, as this front side's already covered, and I took 4 already. I really thought the spikes would have easily made it all the way around, and yet I've already gone through 26. Oh, we're missing a chunk of fence there. Just to reach this corner, and there's nothing. There is no spikes left around this area at all. And this isn't, like 3 weeks of spikes or something. I mean, this was over the course of about 4 days. We lost a quarter of all of our spikes. And look at that. This whole side is still a barren landscape. I'm going to need at least another 20 to 30 to get back on par, which the big detriment on that is we need to get plant fibers once again. So as we go to get started on our day, I'll be gathering more plant fibers. I would love to switch from the wood spikes to the iron spikes. They are costly though. We are into that iron pick now though. If we're starting to gather iron quickly enough, we might just start to make that changeover. They will last a lot longer than the wood ones last, especially now that the real problem we're encountering is that the just natural game stage has progressed to a point where the wandering zombies are not the simple teenager types for the most part that go down really quick and only do a small amount of damage to the spikes. Not only are they a lot more regulars, but there are ferals. Lots and lots of ferals, and those are the ones that survive long enough to wipe out a few spikes and really kind of defeat the purpose of what I'm trying to do there with the spikes, just to simply get a good night's rest and get that healthy vitality boost. Recently here, we're just not getting that healthy vitality boost. But today's first project is going to be to do some upgrades here, and do have pitch and wood with me. We are going to work a bit on getting this barrier built into the first mine. It's all the wood that I brought out with me this time. It's a project that's going to take time, and it's not something that I'm overly stressed about. But while I'm here, I am going to gather a little bit more coal, and then we're going to be heading for the iron mine. We're going to need to go back and pick up the bike, though, finish our trip around. There was no loot bags for the night, which is definitely not helpful, but let's see how quickly we can get through 4 hits for a 500 block. 3 hits, so coal's down to 3 hits now. Loving it. Okay, went to transition here over to the iron mine. Today, I'm going to be at this for a while. I need 1,500 iron. And then there's other things that I'm going to need iron for too. I'm going to be spending a good chunk of the day down here. Don't worry though, we'll be skipping on ahead. Maybe a wandering horde's going to hit. I would guess as long as I'm going to be down here, there's got to be a wandering horde coming by at some time. But the accumulation is quick. Loving that part. I did with my drinks, but they're not with me. I must have accidentally gotten quick stacked. I have nothing to drink and I'm low on stamina. Let me make it a trip back to the base here pretty quickly. Terrible stamina is definitely bad. It looks like we've already found our wandering horde. There you go. While I have no thirst, I've literally just started. Giving her earrings. That was a large horde. The odds of not getting a loot bag, it's like 1,000 to 1 that you're not going to get a loot bag over that many zombies. The way the mechanics work using wandering hordes, because the odds go up, 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 zombie by zombie. That was a hit. We hit the jackpot in the opposite direction. You know, it's different when you only have 6, 8, 10 zombies. You're likely to get one. You're not always going to get one. It was, I don't know, 25, 30 zombies? Should have been something like a 100% chance. 99.9% chance that we would have gotten one by the end of that. Yeah, there's my coffee. Picked up a perk point. I'm about halfway through this project at the moment, so it's not taking too long. It's not a quick project, but it's definitely not taking too long here. I'm moving quickly enough through it. I've got about 750 of the 1,500 I needed, and we'll only go that far, and then kind of get on to whatever other projects that we have to do. Last time out, I had laid out a 6-step process on what I was wanting to do, and we've only completed 2 of the steps, but we've made progress on most of the steps. Mining up to level 49. I think that's the 4th level I've already picked up in mining, and about 3/4 of the way now through this project. The day is definitely carrying on. I'm guessing it's probably past noon by now, but there's definitely still going to be enough time left in the day when we're done here to at least begin another project. Close to done. 1,251 of 1,500 that we at minimum needed to collect today. And the iron pick has just broke, and I do not have the duct tape on me that I need to make it right again, so I will take in at least our first stack and grab a duct tape. What a difference a playthrough can make. I can just carry one stack in my other, and here I am getting whacked by somebody. There you go. I can't carry 500 here. I thought it was a little past noon. It's already late into the afternoon, so actually it has gone a lot longer than I thought it was, and more like what I was thinking it was going to be in the first place, which is just about a whole day to make this happen. We don't need much more. I need really quality for the iron pick. 1355. Repair it once. Oh, 589. Really? That took 800 quality off of it. 800. Which means this is it. We get one more usage out of this. Ugh. That was a lot of iron to make it happen, and all it did was get me, well, a lot of iron. Got me a lot more than it took to craft in the first place, but that was shocking just how much quality was taken off of there. So we'll go get our 250, but it's looking like that's barely going to get me scratching the surface on what we're going to need, but it'll at least take care of the two immediate projects. Oh, dog into the hole. Good thing I drank some coffee and had some extra stamina. That was a close call. Oh, another dog. There's got to be something going on here. So I have a dog horde coming through. It's about the time for a second horde on the day. One dog is a coincidence. Two dogs feels like a pattern that I should be generally aware of. Didn't hear him for a second, but I hear him now. There's dog number 3. Mining up to 50. It's a nice, happy landmark to be hitting while we're close to finishing up this project for the day. Alright, well, project's done. Took the whole day. It is now nighttime. We'll take a quick look to see if there's any glowing mushrooms in the vicinity before we hop back on the bike. As projects overlap with each other, another one that I had started previously was the long process of making literature fragments from paper and glue, and we crafted 20 of them. But I also got the last Spear Hunter book because we're using spears on a regular basis, and we're going to get a double bonus from this one. Hone your reflexes to perform a rapid spear thrust. Increase attack speed by 10%, so we're going to be able to work faster with it, but you're going to get a secondary tone there. A big ol' congratulatory tone, and from that, the Spear Hunter set is complete. The increased attack speed from number 5 was the last one we picked up. But now that we've done all of them, we get the completion bonus, which is kills with spears, refill your stamina. That is massive, as we're using a steel spear now. And the steel spear is good. Oh, it's good. No doubt about it. It's worked wonders. We're making kills pretty rapidly. But the stamina cost is not cheap. It certainly adds up, and we do have a limitation on that. But we get a lot of kills with this spear, and now the stamina goes right back to maximum every time we make a kill. It's going to be extremely handy. Well worth the 10 literature fragments that we used to get it crafted. By the way, the cost check on iron spikes traps. First off, the benefit, the hit points is not a ton higher, but there's explosion resistance unlike the wood ones. But there's also a stronger, I think it does more damage anyway. I mean, it's hard to say what exactly it does with that. Having a couple of them to test them out would be nice. I never end up making the upgrades to iron spike traps. Typically in the vanilla game, in fact, I only use spikes so long, and then you kind of move on from it. They only have so much benefit. Here, keeping them outside of your perimeter for rest is the best benefit they have, and I don't think about using them for the horde base. So how much damage will they do? I don't know. The hit points is only a bit higher than the wood spikes is. The mass, you can see, is 5 versus 20. The hit points is 132 instead of 330, so we're adding a couple hundred hit points. And of course there's stages, so it doesn't drop as rapidly. But if it does significantly more damage, if it does triple damage and has the near triple hit points plus the same amount of stages, we're talking about basically triple and triple, so about 9 times. 9 times more effective than a wood spike trap would be. But at 5 wrought iron ingots, we're talking about 5 kilograms of iron, or 50 iron ore for each iron spike trap. Definitely not cheap. Doesn't take long to get 50. It really doesn't. But to do the whole perimeter of the base, I don't know what our quantity is, but we just had 46 iron spikes and only made it halfway around in a half that was mostly filled. So I think if we're trying to be realistic, I'd say there's probably at least 600, maybe 700 spikes surrounding our perimeter. That's an awful lot. That's an awful lot of iron we'd need to be pulling out there. Maybe 3,000 to do all of it. Took me one whole day to do 1,500, so certainly something to consider, but not something I'm in a rush to do. And is it 9 times as effective? That one I'm not sure of. Definitely making progress in more ways than one, though. The 5 treasures that we pulled out are in our ammo supply. You can see we now have ammo in abundance, at least reserve. We're pretty full on us, and we easily have another 3 1/3 stacks for the 7.62. We have another quarter stack for the 5.56. We have another 5th stack, 6th stack on the 9mm. So we've got a good amount of ammo, and then on top of it, we've been producing bullet tips. I'm set to also make bullet casings, so that'll give me enough for another about 700. Ammo's not going to be a problem for a while. We can definitely, as we head to the desert, rely on that ammo a lot more. On top of it, I'm already producing more gunpowder. Already made 240. We'll make another 1,400. We're going to be prepared to make another 4 Sifia syrups, and we have plenty of Manuka honey for that now with 21. And even then, there's still enough spores for another half dozen as well. Those herbal antibiotics that I made, I've only used a few of them so far. I've got 1 regular antibiotic and still 1 more Sifia syrup. 4 honeys to go with it. So the numbers aren't the greatest right now when it comes to the infection. In fact, I might as well take that Sifia syrup that I have. The numbers aren't the greatest. 45%, but we're about to knock that down by 15, having just drank that Sifia syrup. So it's going to be down to 30. It's on a timer delay at the moment, so it's pretty well under control. Food and water are fine, so not perfect. I'll drink something before I head out for the day. Health's good. The one disappointing thing is, zombies are finding a way to get inside right now, and we've got those 20 fragments. Finishing off Spear Hunter was a huge bonus for us. I'm wondering if there's any others that are close, because Tech Junkie is the only other one that's done. Looking at something that's 2 or less from being complete. 20 literature fragments would be the minimum for that. Speaking of literature fragments, I still have another 53, even if we use the 20. Figured out. Oh, it's dawn. The sun has risen already. Getting a number of 1 kills. I had 2 zombies in the area. I killed 2 zombies. I'd only moved like 10 feet, and there were still 2 zombies in the area. So back on those perk books. It's a good set to finish. Rock Hard. There's 2 to go on there, but the breakthrough, you get chance to one-shot ores. Scales with mining skill. Well, we're doing a lot of mining. Stay hydrated. Minus 20% stamina loss. Wind swinging mining tools while over 50% water. That's handy. And harvest extra limestone from limestone and stone blocks. Not terribly helpful, but it's lightweight stuff and something we need. Automatic weapons. You can draft drum mags. Not a big deal on that one, but each kill boosts your run speed by 20% for 20 seconds. Makes us faster. Batter up would be nice. Power attacks that kill your enemy refill your stamina meter, so very similar to what I have with the spear, but we use the spear primarily. Fireman's Almanacs, 2 away, sprint longer, never encumbered in the burnt forest or wasteland. We're not spending time in either one at this point. Great Heist. Find 20% more lockpicks in loot, break into locks 20% faster, and have a 10% lower chance to break your lockpick. The book, the 1 book, find more jewelry and precious gems. That's pretty good, pretty tempting. More useful in vanilla than it is here, though. Hunter's Journal, do 10% more damage to vultures and harvest more bones, meat, and leather from animals. Yeah, I'm okay. Enemies have a higher chance to drop loot. Find more food in loot. Find more scrap metal in loot. That rock hard one would be decent. The sniper one would be decent, but nothing too urgent there. What was the automatic weapons? Oh, run speed. So with that, I think I'm a little more inclined to stick with the long-term project, which has just been the regular crafting books. Would we need a push to get to the next level, as those things have made a bigger difference long-term. When we kind of get down to 1-1-1-1, I think I'll try to finish off all of those perk books. But we need the two projects that we just buy that 1500 ore for is the cement mixer and the chem station. One of them needs 50 wrought iron ingots, one of them needs 100. So we needed 150, hence the 1500 ore that we mined. We had a little bit, so we're now a little past that stage, but we're 10 books away from the to be able to stoke the fire with the bellows and turn the heat up by one level and be able to do things like steel. The harvesting tools at a 55, yeah, that's just into the iron. We're really close to 56, but 75 till we get into steel. Construction tools, right? We need to make the claw hammer. Let's see what the claw hammer is going to take. Oh, it's daytime. I forgot about that. Days wasted away. 25 more wrought iron ingots. Of course it is. We have everything else, though. And already would have a good quality. 2700. You know, if we didn't just come off of a horde night, I would definitely prioritize the cement mixer and the claw hammer so that we were prepared for that next horde night. But actually, one of the 6 things we needed to do, one of the 4 remaining steps, was repairs to the horde base, and that was actually kind of what I was planning on going to do next. If we had the claw hammer now, those repairs are going to happen much quicker. The upgrades, once we have the cement mixer, are going to happen much quicker, but it does mean that I'm 250 iron in debt and would need to go back and mine some more. But if we can do the repairs while we continue the process, and look, we could already make 29 right now, so we would have enough to do the claw hammer immediately. Oh, the other project's finished as well, the bullet tips, and 500 bullet casings are done. Yeah, so I think I'm going to scoot the claw hammer up to the beginning of the queue, ahead of the cement mixer, ahead of the chemical station. Alright, so we've got a nice quality claw hammer on the way. It'll be done in 4 minutes. So maybe while I wait for that, I go mine the other 250 ore that I needed to get back on track to be able to do the chem station as well as the cement mixer. It's going to be a long time though. I mean, we need, I think it's 50 for the cement mixer. Yes, it's 50. The springs, the engine, the mechanical parts are easy. It's only going to take a minute and a half, but we need 50 wrought iron ingots, and that's a big old weight. I don't know who I was trying to kid. It was going to take me a few minutes just to get ready to go anywhere, so I just got some materials together so that I could come in and do some repairs. And only had to wait about 20 seconds after that for the claw hammer to finish. So look how fast these repairs are being done, though, as the claw hammer is a big upgrade. That bronze mallet, I don't remember exactly how long I had it, but I don't remember using it that long, right? It's definitely feels like it was a temporary stop on the way to, well, did I have a second piece up here above it? I feel like I did. If I didn't, we're going to have one now. And actually there's a couple pieces, so I'll go grab some mortar. Oh, only 3 hits to construct in brick. I like it. Ooh, you know, I don't really need to bother with upgrading to brick actually, because we're going to be upgrading to cement. And I had one down there that was like 1 away from being leveled up or upgraded. And the main reason why you have the back piece here It's not that they're going to hit the back piece. It's that when they do break the front ladder, you have that redundancy that the thing doesn't just collapse on you and you have to rebuild it all from scratch. That was broken last time. That is probably the most common spot for them to hit, besides eye level at ground level. Which is why the one block broke down there and the ladder on the other side had taken a bit of a beating and I hadn't repaired it in, I don't know, how many Horde nights? At least a couple, if not a few. Yeah, this transition from climbing to walking is that other spot. They can't quite figure it out, and while they're gathering their thoughts, they hit. That came awfully close, though. It was down to 500 or 600 at the end of the night. And then I went down to finish them off, and a couple stayed behind and beat on it before they finally realized that, oh, hey, wait, he's down on the ground. What are we doing? Drop. Probably going to need to do a little bit of a stability check down here. There's, I'd say, a little bit too much in terms of holes right there on that side. Just a little bit too much in terms of holes on this side, and a number of weaker blocks here that have been taking that beating. So the idea right now is getting this entire front face completely repaired, and in doing so, if I can get the concrete mixer up in time, if I can start getting concrete mix made in enough quantity in time before the upcoming Horde night, I can then take that up here, and now with this convenient claw hammer, get up here and upgrade the entire frontal face, from the floor to all of the front plates to the couple of overhead pieces, upgrade all of it to concrete. And I think this might be the final block on that process. Much more stable position next time, and then with the claw hammer, repairs will be a lot easier from here. And then if we still have the necessary resources, we want to get the tightrope, the upper part of the ladder, the bottom part of the ladder, and then you're good to go. But that is the repairs done. I mean, there's other little damage here and there. I'm going to keep the claw hammer here at this site. And so that's going to finish that project for now. That is one of the 6 big projects that I had to do. That is 3 of them now complete. 2 of them, the cement mixer and the chem station. We are waiting on that smelting of iron, but we're going to need 250 more to replace what we just used on that claw hammer. I think after this next Horde night, we'll skip what's going on. The building's not going to come crashing down yet. Eventually, sure. Gonna have lunch, and then we're going to decide what we want to do. How's that sun looking? It's past high noon. That next project was definitely not what I wanted to be doing at night. So I think I'm going to spend the other half of my day back down in the mine, get that 250 that we needed. Now, for anyone who may be new to the game, a little tip. These mines, for one thing, you start with that above ground node. When you dig down, you're going to just continually find more. So that's how you locate the stuff. But, 1, you need to keep an entrance for yourself. You need to have a way in and out. And 2, if you just simply follow the ore, it's going to snake around and it's going to get crazy. It's going to get really hard to follow what's going on. You're going to have an easy time getting yourself lost or even breaking a leg inside your own mind. How I do it, how I like to do it, is I try to kind of strip away a layer at a time. So when I first get into the mine, I've got my clear path, get down into the mine, which I'm going to have to dig that back another layer now that I've just taken out another layer of dirt. I like to strip out the sides and especially the top first. Once I've kind of found what I think is the extent around the exterior, I'll just strip away a layer at a time off the ground. And occasionally that'll open up a new smaller pocket that's up higher inside the wall. Dig that out, no problem. Clean out that area as you kind of go into it, in between. by stripping away a layer at a time at ground level, you give yourself an easy area to work with where you're not going to get lost. You're not going to have a lot of collapses, especially if you're careful about leaving like this occasionally where you've got something to help secure the area above it. And it's not that wide, and yeah, it's kind of long, but it's not that wide, and so there's support here and there. Looks like I did miss a piece up there, and it's hard to keep track. It's really hard to keep track of this stuff. You have to start noticing small little details to find these guys and what you need. And I'm stripping away now my exit. I'm gonna have to definitely work on fixing that exit now. Another tip for you: in vanilla, if you're not playing Afterlife but you're playing the vanilla version of the game, noise massive. Those witches, screamers, when they scream, you're in trouble. Each and every time, you're going to be in trouble. The way heat works, all your actions, running a campfire, generates heat. Heat in this case is, think of it like the police, right? Heat is how visible you are in the world, how much racket you're making, how much attention you're drawing towards yourself. In this case, it's relevant because those screamers operate off of heat, and since they got to 1.0, and I don't know if they've made any changes going to 1.1, 1.2 since then, because I've been playing Afterlife ever since, and because of the save break, I've remained on the 1.0 version. So if they haven't gone and changed the mechanics here recently, the heat mechanic generates quickly, generates often, and those screamers are dangerous, especially if you get caught in that loop, in that cycle where you get one screamer out and about, and then you don't take care of them immediately, and they scream again, and so two screamers bring in two screamers who you kill one, and then they bring in two more, and then you just get swarmed, overwhelmed, and eventually die. So one of the ways to avoid them, mining. First step is crouch. Generate half as much heat as you would otherwise. Second step, don't operate on that 0 stamina and wait for it to recover and click, and wait for it to recover and click, and wait for it to recover and click. As you repeat that process, you generate heat each time. If you have all your stamina and then you just hold down the button and work continually, this is still off of one click. We are still working off of one click right now. So in terms of heat generation, this is minimal. Now with the Afterlife, it's not a big deal, but that saves because Afterlife has a different mechanic and doesn't generate heat. You encounter screamers of the world, but you encounter them randomly. Oh, let's see. How am I doing on that? Oh, I put it away. I think I had about 170, which was definitely not the 250 I needed. I'm having a real bad day trying to locate any more iron in this mine, and as I'm stripping it down to this next layer, it's still not revealing any new, or hardly any new iron. Really, all we had was already exposed at the entry that I didn't want to mess around with, and then eventually changed my mind and did what I had to do, and yeah, there's iron underneath the entrance, which I don't. But with that, once again, the gathering is done. 3 out of 6 projects are complete. 2 out of 6 have a huge step along the way. And then we have all the materials we need. We just need this guy to step up, and right now 38. Big 38 at the moment. Definitely not enough to finish the job on the cement mixer, but pretty dang close. Well, that 6th project was to head to the desert and begin looting in the desert at a specific place, which is some low-level POIs, but a number of them back-to-back, so we don't have to wander aimlessly through the desert getting the random wilderness POIs, but in a town. That western town was project number 6. That's where we're going to be heading in the morning, coming back to what is hopefully a cement mixer that'll be ready to go. We are not going to get the cement made, though, unless I go again spend yet another day on, I'm not sure how far since Horde Night we already are. 2 days, 3 days since Horde Night. About halfway through the week. I don't want to risk suddenly being into Horde Night while we're out there. I'd rather us only have so much cement for the next Horde Night itself. So it's going to do it for this episode, but we will be heading out into the desert to begin regular looting of POIs there. We're going to face a lot tougher zombies, but we've got the ammunition, we've got weapons, ranged weapons that we're going to start relying a lot more heavily on and starting to level up on, and taking those lower level POIs will be some rads, lots of ferals. It's going to be a lot busier, but the loot level, even though we'll be in low level POIs, we'll have about a triple loot stage bonus, and we're going to be pulling a lot of things like steel spears that we have now in abundance, and that's going to start adding up pretty quickly, even in a low level POI. So it'll be an interesting change, interesting dynamic shift as we go from the first tier biome into the third tier biome for a regular basis. From here on out, we're done with the forest. We're bypassing the burnt biome and straight into that desert, which of course we've already been there a little bit. We've tested the waters a little bit. We've been into, what was it, a tier 4, and had a hell of a time with it. That's why we're gonna go hit up a bunch of tier 1s and tier 2s and maybe a tier 3 initially to get the ball rolling, get a lot of books and whatnot to kind of get us into the next stage of gear. That does it for this one, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there.